People love to say, love me for who I am. But I need to ask something real quick. How, if you never show who you really are? Like, genuinely. If you're constantly filtering yourself, editing yourself, performing, shapeshifting, wearing a mask, how is anyone supposed to know you well enough to really love you for you? They can't. They can only love the version you handed them. Welcome back, loves. If you're new, welcome to the sanctuary. I'm really glad you're here. As always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and use your own discernment. You are your best guide. Now listen, this is not to bash people. It's not that type of video, okay? Y'all know better. This is a pattern call out because some patterns don't get healed until they get named. And I'm saying this with love, but I am not going to water it down. I'm really tired of the fakeness, y'all. A lot of people say they're real. They pride themselves on keeping it real, so to speak. They'll even tell you they hate fake people. First off, we shouldn't hate anyone, okay? But then they'll turn around and say, I just want someone to love me for who I am. I'm like, okay, but who are you letting people meet? Because there are two different things happening in this world. One, some people wear masks for protection. I get that. And two, some people wear masks for control. And both of those will block real connection, regardless of the reasons. So let's talk about the first one first. Some of you learned that being your real self wasn't safe, and I get that. Maybe you got judged, maybe you got rejected, maybe you got punished for having feelings or got called too much, too loud, too whatever. Maybe you got abandoned the second you had needs. So you adapted. You became easier, you became low maintenance, chill. You became I don't care even when you cared a lot. You learn to read the room like a survival skill. You learn to perform the version of you that keeps the peace. And I'm not here to shame that. That was wisdom at one point. But here's the cost. If you're performing to be accepted, you might get chosen, sure. But you won't feel known. And being chosen without being known turns into loneliness inside of a relationship. Or a friendship, doesn't have to be romantic. Loneliness inside your own life. Because they're not loving you, they're loving the mask. Now, the second one. Some people wear masks for control. This is the I'm real brand, the I'm just honest personality, the I say what I mean vibe. But the truth is, they're not being real, they're being strategic. They perform authenticity, but it's actually image management. Their realness changes depending on who's watching. They'll tell the truth when it benefits them and hide it when it doesn't. They'll call it honesty when it's harsh and call it privacy when it's accountability. And again, I'm not here to attack people. I'm here to name the pattern, the behaviors. Because you cannot call yourself real if your reality changes based on the audience. So here's the real question for everybody. Do you want to be liked or do you want to be known? There's a difference. Being known requires something a lot of people don't want to do. It requires consistency. Authenticity isn't oversharing or telling everyone your trauma story. It's not bleeding on the internet. That's not what I'm saying. Authenticity is simple. It's when your values don't disappear when you want someone's approval. It's when your boundaries don't vanish because you're afraid they're going to leave. It's when your personality doesn't shift every time you're around a new person. It's when you don't betray yourself just to be accepted. And let me say this part very clearly. You cannot demand deep love while offering people a character. You cannot demand intimacy while staying hidden. And you definitely can't say, I just want someone to love me for me, while handing people the resume version of yourself. Because then you show up as the mask. You attract people who match the mask. Then you start resenting them because they don't see you. You feel unseen. And then it's nobody loves me for me, but you haven't been in the room. Maybe I'm not saying it gently, but I'm saying it. So what do we do with this? We stop trying to be impressive and we start being honest. not necessarily brutal, not I'm going to pop off and call it truth. Honest can also be calm, real honesty, the kind of honest that doesn't need to raise its voice. Small daily truth, like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't agree, but I respect you. I'm not available for that dynamic anymore. I'm not in the mood to perform today. I'm just being. And for some of you, the biggest truth will be admitting that you actually care. Because some of y'all are out here acting detached, like it's a personality, like it's cool, when it's really a shield. And the shield is really heavy, baby. Put it down. So here's a little challenge if you feel so called. For the next week, tell the truth in small ways. Not the truth that starts a war, the truth that ends a performance, the truth that aligns you back to yourself. Because the right people cannot find you if you're hiding behind a mask. And the wrong people cannot stay as long when you stop auditioning. That's the point. So if this hit, let it hit. If it didn't, leave it. But if you're feeling unseen, unloved, misunderstood, I want you to ask yourself one thing tonight. Have I been letting people meet the real me? Or have I been handing them a version I thought would be easier to love or like? Because you deserve real love. But real love requires access. All right, loves, I'll let you go now. If this helped you, like, subscribe, share, comment, support the sanctuary in any way you feel called. And as always, I'm sending you guys light, love, and healing. And I hope this helped.